Hey guys, what is going on? It is Ando. Thank you for joining me on the state of our account, video series that we do here. It was the original kind of thought child of Dialar Twi'lek Tactics. I don't know if you guys know this, but Dialar actually retired from the game. So it is kind of my great honor to try to continue to do this. And we normally do this like once a week, sometimes kind of bi-weekly, like once every 2 weeks. But yeah, this is a series where we kind of go through our account, kind of wrap up some news in there as well, kind of talk about what we're doing next, in all this stuff. So since it's been a while since I've done one of these, there's going to be quite a bit if I, can remember from the last time that we actually did one of these. So I don't think I had Lord Vader yet, and I definitely didn't have Maul the last time I did one of these. We currently have them right now. You can see kind of where my arena rank is right now. That's typically about as low as I drop. Some days I've dropped to like 12. It really just depends, I think, how, crazy people are feeling. Like if they want to do the 5 minute, mirror match or whatever the case is, right? Like I think the JMK cat one specifically is such an easy mirror match that a lot of times people will maybe like shortchange themselves or short jump just in order to maybe go around some of the kind of annoying longer battles that Lord Vader can provide. So not that it's like an impossible squad to beat, but this is the squad that I've been running with. I have had no issues with it. But like I said, sometimes I drop, to 50, and that's pretty typical in my shard. Like that's not anything crazy. As far as fleet, I think I still had the 7-star executor last time we were here. I crystal rushed it like none other. And basically after the 5-star kind of fix that they did, I went the next go around. I 7-starred it. I normally don't drop out of the top 5. I have a very relaxed fleet shard, so very easy for me to just do one battle a day and then call it good. And there's no GAC this week, guys. That's crazy. I can't believe it. But I guess last round I got to the top 300 in Division 1. I also think that last season was also my 1 million lifetime banners. It's weird. Like I went through a vacation and there was like, I wasn't even in a guild for a long time during that vacation, like at all during that vacation. I really didn't play anything other than GAC. And it was just really like quick, hey, 30-minute battle, get on, get off kind of thing. I didn't have to get my 600. It was kind of actually really nice to step away. But unfortunately, what sucks now is that we don't have GAC. And I just want to talk a little bit about GAC right now. I think it's not a stretch to say that, hey, it's the game mode right now of the big, I guess, banner game modes, right? Like of the TWs, the TBs, all that stuff. It's the game mode that I think is offering the least reward for time, especially once TW got that rework and stuff like that. They seem to be really, like the answers that they're giving posts and stuff like that. They're saying that there's gonna be posts coming soon. That they're not just making a post to say, hey, we forgot, right? I know the negative people want to say like, hey, we just like the negative people just want to say, hey, CG forgot. It's not that. I don't think that there's a scheduling thing that they just forgot. This is something changing within GAC. What that change is, I have no idea. Could we be seeing better rewards? Possibly. Could we be seeing a different map? Possibly. Could we be seeing maybe our version of the speed GAC? Again, possibly. Like there's a reason why they've delayed it, and there's a reason why they're waiting to post about it. And like I said, the post isn't just going to be like, hey guys, we forgot. Sorry, because they've done that before and they've answered that question. I always liken it to this situation when TW changed and there was 50 teams per zone for the top division guys. They were very secretive on it. Like they were like, hey, like people were asking. TW officers really wanted to know because they wanted to know how many teams they were going to need to template, that's a big part of the officer's job. And they just didn't tell people. And again, like they knew how much it was, right? Like, and everyone knew, like on the CG side, knew how many teams that we were going to have to place, but they didn't tell anyone. This feels weirdly like that. Like, we definitely know that they know why they haven't released GAC yet. And again, I don't think it's because, the Omicrons not working. They've clearly worked within TW. They clearly have worked within the Dash marquee. It's too easy, I think, for coding to just say like, hey, like if GAC, this Omicron works, right? Like I would think anyways. So I think something's changing, I guess, long story short. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm still in Alpha Squad, doing well. I didn't really keep up with them and how well they did in TW. I just know that we got matched up with Ma Chromium, which is crazy because we are 390 million GP, and yeah, they definitely gave it to us. And then we got mismatched on our benefit, our second match when I came back, and yeah, we kind of walked all over that guild, and it's no fault of their own. Like, we just had a lot of GP on them. So yeah, that kind of goes over the once over kind of thing. So let's go ahead and look into the actual account, and we'll talk about some characters that we got and modding and stuff like that. Okay, so I've kind of highlighted the guys that like I've kind of went through, kind of all dark side based. It's kind of not surprising, I guess, because of Lord Vader, right? The one thing that I will say, these are just things that I'm doing right now. All of this, like there are things that I've heard, hey, this might work better. But right now, everything's just working great in Arena. And for the time being, that's really kind of where I'm at, excuse me. And so, yeah, that's really just kind of what we're going to talk about. So I got Lord Vader, I got the ult, and I've just loaded him with survivability. I gave him a little bit of speed where I could, and I gave him a little bit of offense, I think, where I could. Those are just a look of my numbers, but I protection based him, right? Or I guess I didn't do the arrow. I thought I did the arrow, but I protection based him, just sort of like that's kind of the mold of Lord Vader teams, like when you're modding for him. So I protection based him, and yeah, I don't know. He's working for me right now. I know people are having trouble with it. I do not seem to have trouble climbing versus JMK Cat. Now, I will say this, it's a longer fight than JMK Cat Mirrors, but overall, like, I haven't noticed much of a difference. Now, Maul, I did get Maul first time go, and with Maul, I did the same thing, protection based him as much as possible, gave him all health sets. Now, I will say this, I know that offense sets on him, basically underneath, all the smart people are saying that underneath Lord Vader, it doesn't matter kind of your mod sets, whether it's all health sets or all, offense set with the health set supporting, it doesn't matter. But people that just have Maul and they don't have Lord Vader, and they're not going to have Lord Vader for a while, it seems like the offense set is the way to go. And then instead of protection primaries here, you want health primaries, and that all has to do with his anguish. We made the video on it, like when we saw the kit reveal on it, the 2% of their max health, right? So you're gonna want health in there, but the good news with Lord Vader is that he converts all your protection into health anyways, so just kind of builds on that. But because he doesn't have that same health pool, which is where you were getting a ton of his offense from, that's why people are choosing to put an offense set on him to try to make up for that lack of offense and lack of health, really. So that's just how I'm running mine. Again, I have him still favored because he's really kind of on my short list of like, hey, I think I want to R8 him. Vader loves his relics. Like, he loves his team to have relics because of his ultimate. He gains his mastery based off of his allies, right? Right here, he instead gains 75% mastery from this ability, right? So right here, you can see where it actually just says, hey, He's going to take 50% of dark side current ally mastery stacking until the end of the encounter. And then they won't lose it as long as they're Empire dark side. Well, at 100%, he's going to gain 75% of it. So really this mastery, the number that we're taking the 75% from is really this mastery. So right now we're taking 75% of 45. If I upgraded him to, R8, he would be taking 75% of 60. And so and that just goes down the line, right? And so that's why Lord Vader really, really likes his relics. And I'm telling you, once you build him up, after his second ultimate, he's just going to make people disappear. And it's so true. That's why I put him on here too. I raised Royal Guard up to Relic 5. It's a bit of a... I actually struggled with this one a little bit just because a lot of times, when it's the AI controlling my team, people are just going to annihilate Royal Guard, or they're going to wait to go around Royal Guard and annihilate, Maul or something like that with Cat. But, I thought, well, let's just make him a little bit more annoying, right? If they don't, use Cat to annihilate. And he is always sticking around to the end. Like, he's very, very tanky underneath the Lord Vader lead. So I brought him up to R5. Again, just the difference of, I think he's required at R3. But just that difference of mastery levels, right? Like at R3, I don't remember exactly what he is. But, now he's 25. So, right, we're taking 75% of 25 and pushing that back into Lord Vader. And then as far as GAC went, I don't want to run Piet and Vader, or Darth Vader with Lord Vader. So I kind of already bit the bullet a little bit, and I think these guys are actually really good. Triple tank underneath Lord Vader is very difficult. But they're only Relic 3 right now. I did throw the relics on them after GL farm. I'm sure all you guys know, like, once you hit that GL farm, you just like kind of go crazy with like some of your excess gear and stuff, and that's what I did. Relic 3 on them right now, probably gonna bump them up too. I just kind of want to get a feel like, hey, who's better, right? Like, I might leave one of them at R3, and then I might bump one of them up to R5. And that's just kind of what I did. Again, same issue. I haven't 6E'd any of these mods yet, though. Luckily, I guess for the week off of GAC, I will get that turn. But yeah, I'm going to be throwing protection on all these guys again, because I basically know that that's where they're going to go. They're going to go underneath Lord Vader, and so yeah, going to do that. That's kind of my project this week, is really work on these guys as mods. And then the last character I really added to relics was Sith Empire Trooper. Now, this one, he's just a great pre-taunting tank, but he's also kind of key in making DR still relevant at my GP. He's still very relevant, at various GPs, but right now it really does feel like, I think Zareth said it best, like he's like the time of DR is kind of fading. And but one of the things that definitely does help him is when you make your Sith Empire Trooper very tanky. So that's why I have 2 defense sets and a health set on him. And again, it's kind of the same deal. Want to really protection base him a lot. For the counter for Imp Troopers, basically, if you can't get through set, you're kind of screwed. Like, you need that first kill. You definitely need that first kill. And the tankier you can make this guy, and mine's not super tanky. Again, I don't have, a ton of 6E mods yet on him. But, I've got 61% armor and, 112 protection. And so, yeah, like, this is one that I really want. And like I said, he fits in so many different other squads. He's just a good pre-taunter. There's a lot to really like about him. He's, he starts off with 100% defense. Like I said, again, he starts off with defense up and taunt. So that 100% defense with the defense up and defense sets, it really makes him very, very tanky. So I put him up to relics, and especially with troopers, because eventually, once he starts moving, ferocity is going to start to really rip away his defense. But really, to try and stop that first opening blast of all the guys attacking him, I'm trying to get that kill, so that way you kind of stop the Terminator train on your Sith Empire. He's great. He's actually really great. So that was really like my big overarching characters. I'm working on Omega. I'm doing one refresh per day, or one node refresh per day. I'm at 42 of 100. And I think I've forgotten some of the days, so it could probably be closer to like 50, or I don't know, maybe even 60. I anticipate people that have been meticulously farming Omega are either already got Omega at 7 stars or very, very close. I just have modded her for a little bit of offense and survivability. I just wanted she will fit in the Bad Batch squad once I kind of get that 7-star and up to gear 13. But right now, I think I just literally modded her for Conquest, so that way I could get the 14 Bad Batch wins or whatever. Same thing with Fennec Shan. Fennec Shan was hey, just throw survivability on her, so that way I'm not just sitting there losing stars because I'm using bounty hunters. And she's been great, actually. She's super, super good. I can't wait to get her to 7 stars because she seems like she really helps those long contracts that used to happen. And then Dash Rendar, he just came out, obviously. I did buy the 4-star pack on him. No mods on him yet. I will put some on though, because I've actually seen some really, really good stuff with him as a support, not even as the lead. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that. What I will say though is, so I have enough for an Omicron. I've got barely enough for an Omicron. I'm not gonna, my personal thing, this is just, again, this series all about, hey, what am I doing and why am I doing it? I'm not putting one on Dash right now. I think it's a really good one, but I want to, for 2 reasons really. The two are, I want to see what the other ones are. I want, just because and I'm not saying that I'm going to wait for the entire list to come out. Really, I just want to see if there's something that's more advantageous. This kind of goes to number 2. If you take a look at my scoundrels, I don't have that prepared squad. And I know you can run them with other scoundrels and he basically makes them become prepared. But I just don't have them geared up. I really don't. I've got, like I said, Vader Chewie, he's gear 12. I'm not willing to risk that valuable of a resource right now. Cause like I said, I've seen the TW Phasma. It looks really good. These things seem like they're going to be really, really good. So I just want to make sure that whoever I give it to, they're kind of GAC or TW ready, whichever way I decide to go from there. But yeah, like I just personally do not really have his squad lined up. And I know he can do some cool stuff with Han and Chewie, but again, I'm not going to rip them away from CLS at this point. There's just too many things that are unknown right now for me to give that to him. So it's just more of a personal choice why I'm not giving him that. Especially when you start talking about, we're going to get Rolos soon, right? And just look at how many options I don't use. Literally, I use like, CLS and then like R2D2 from this list. I mean, that's maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but like it's not far off, right? Like if Rolos adds some sort of big buff, there's a ton of rebels that I don't use. And same thing with Sidious, and we start looking at all the Sith that we have reliced up, and a lot of them are used in teams. I'm not saying that I don't use them, but it's just one of those things where I feel like right now I have a ton of question marks on the scoundrels that just would take a ton of gear, and I just don't have it because I think the one that I would be wanting to go for is Starkiller, and obviously we're going to need Relic 5 for that. So that's why I've held off. And then the last little bit right here with Conquest is I did max crate this last Conquest, 130 shards. of Boba Fett. I really like him, and I think he's if I don't give any Omicrons to anyone, he's for sure going to get my first 3. But I could see myself, if something really good comes out, and like I said, I've got a squad that in mind that is like, oh, that's gonna be really good. I really like that idea. I will probably, apply one. That's just kind of my opinion right now. I'd like to get to at least 2 before I apply one, just so that way I always have one in the bank in case something else comes out. But that's just sort of my take on it. And then I guess the last thing too with bounty hunters, I've been really trying to work on their mods. You can see my boss, like he's not the fastest right now. There's one mod really holding him back, and I don't think I'm gonna upgrade that one. So I'm kind of looking for a replacement right now. But I'd love to get Bosk into that 320 to 330 range, right? Like that's kind of the sweet spot, I feel like. And I think this is about to become core team. As far as what it's countering, but more importantly than just a core team, I think this is actually about to be like a really important core 2 teams that we're about to get. With Boba Fett around the corner, Fennec is arriving right now. It really feels like now more than ever. I know a lot of people were trying to always make 2 bounty hunter squads because they have so many leaderships, but now more than ever, this feels like this time where like, hey, your investment in the bounty hunters is going to start paying off, right? And we were forced relicked into a bunch of them, but even Dash with bounty hunters sounds really promising. So that's where we're going to leave off, guys. There's no journey guide, thank God, but that's about where we're going to leave off, guys. Like that's sort of the state of the account. And like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions on what else I do, or anything like that, you guys can ask in the comment section below or catch us on a stream. Usually very open to answering questions there. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy your day, and we'll see you guys in the next one.